Shabbat Shalom. Right. Get that pointed a little differently. There we go. So I'm here at 50 Moss Road, and I want to get to the JCC. How do I get there? A car. Thank you. I want directions. Yeah, I'm not going to walk, especially on Shabbat. That would be a bit of a toil. Nobody knows, right? You go out here, you hang a left up Moss, hang a left down 434, hang another left on 1792. We're all with me so far, right? You're going to go down 1792, keep going, keep going, keep going. You get to the 414, also known as Maitland Boulevard. That swoops you up and over. And then the corner of Maitland Avenue, boom, you're there. Not so bad, right? How do you get to the Orlando Science Center? Excellent. Same way. You're on the 1792. You keep going, and then keep going, and keep going, keep going, until you get to Princeton. Very good. Absolutely. And then Princeton, boom, you're there at the Science Center. And how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Everybody knows that. Practice, practice, practice. It's an old joke, but it's a goodie. Because knowing directions is important, and knowing how to get someplace is important, but sometimes it's not the actual driving instructions that are so important as the underlying idea. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. How do you get to the Olympics? And that is why when you see those Olympians standing on the podium, as they feel the years of practice, of sacrifice, of dedication paying off, that is why they smile the way they smile. Although technically the gold medalist and bronze medalists smile most. Silver tends to be a little bit disappointed they didn't get the gold. But that's a whole other psychological phenomenon that we can talk about another time. But they can stand there, rightfully proud of what they have accomplished. There are few human endeavors where the individual strength and merit and dedication pay off so perfectly as the Olympics. But do they? Is it really because of the individual human effort and strength and endeavor that that person who stands at the top of the podium wearing the gold medal, that we can say truly this person deserves this honor more than anyone else in the world? Well, work with me if you will. What does it take to become an Olympian, to be a gold medalist? Practice, practice, practice. The answer is a bit trite. What does it take to be able to practice, practice, practice? It takes talent to start with. Not everybody is born with the body, the musculature, the skeletal system, the endocrinology, all the different things that go into making a body that can compete at Olympic levels. All right, so you have to be blessed with a good basic genetic material that gives you a raw natural talent. And dedication. But before dedication, you have to be exposed to the activity. There was an amazing study done by people who were trying to develop the best rowers, new crew members. And I believe this was done in Australia. And they started off not by looking for people who knew how to row. They started off by going to the schools and measuring arms. Because there was a certain ratio of arm and back and leg length that was found in all of the top rowers. And they took people with that ratio who had never been in a boat before and said, great, how would you like to be an Olympic rower? And they're like, what? Threw them in the boat, and they won. Not without a lot of practice and dedication, but those are people who never even thought, maybe I could be an Olympic athlete, maybe I could be an Olympic rower. But because someone was able to spot the seed that was within them, the basic structure that gave them this leg up, they were able to be given that opportunity. Additionally, you have to have noticed that there is an opportunity, and you have to have the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity. Meaning that if you come from a family that lives in a landlocked area, and nobody does any rowing, even if you have the perfect physique to make you a world champion rower, you're never going anywhere, because it just is never going to occur to you, your family, your country, anyone else to tap that talent that is lying there dormant within you. And even if they do, if the facilities and the training and the coaches are not of the world-class level. You're not receiving the full range of all the scientific methods for perfecting and refining the training technique. Again, you'll never reach that world-class level. So it turns out that practice is absolutely what is needed from you, but from your family, your community, your country, much more is needed to turn someone into a gold medal athlete. There is no person, no matter how solid the event looks, who stands on that podium purely because they themselves woke up as a baby one day and decided that would be what they would do, and everything magically happened. It took literally hundreds and thousands of people, and in many cases, hundreds and thousands of dollars, to get that person on that podium. It's a little bit of a dose of reality, even as we celebrate these champions who rightfully deserve to be celebrated. And it's that same dose of reality that God was giving us in our Torah reading. Because we have a tendency, 3,000 years ago and today, to think that somehow because we have ended up where we are as the Jewish people, that we earned it, that we deserve it, that it's because of our diligence, our determination, because of the exceptional quality of our character, that we deserve the blessing that God gave us of giving us our Torah, of giving us as a nation. And Moses lays it out. I don't even know if it could be more blunt. No. No. God didn't pick you because you earned it, because you were the best of the best. God picked you because he needed someone. Yeah, I know. It's not exactly a great, encouraging pep talk. God needed you because God needed someone, a nation, that could carry the Torah into the world. He'd been trying ever since Adam and Chava, from the first people, to get the idea of living a good and righteous life to be the natural course of things. But humanity was so fixed on doing whatever they felt like doing, which was often quite the opposite of what was good and righteous, that God needed to have some kind of symbol, some kind of torch to be lit in order to inspire the nation and show them that there would be a path. Now, work with me if you will. How many of you feel that you could be an Olympic-class swimmer? That's what I thought. None of us. Right? If God had chosen only the most deserving of people, only a nation full of Abrahams, only a nation full of Sarahs, only a nation full of Moses, if God had chosen to do that, would any other people on earth have been inspired to follow suit, to follow that path? Of course not. I can't be Moses spiritually any more than I could be an Olympic weightlifter. It's simply not in the cards. And I don't look at Olympic weightlifters and think, you know what, I should go try and lift 400 pounds too. No. Instead, God took a people that were nobodies, that were nothing, that were slaves in another country, that had come from one corner of one place and never really had a great life. They were never powerful and mighty in the measurements of nations. And said, you'll do. You've got seeds of greatness in you, sure. You've got Abraham, and you've got Isaac and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah in your DNA, and that's a nice hint. But what I really need is an absolute nobody. What I really need is somebody that everybody will look at and say, well, there's no way they did that on their own. There's no way they were able to accomplish just by themselves. Might didn't get them what they got. Power didn't get them what they got because they got neither of those things. So there must be some other explanation to their success. And that explanation, of course, would be Torah, the gift that God gave us that we never earned. The gift that God gave us that transformed us from being a squabbling family into being a nation that has had one of the most profound effects on the entire human race in all of human history. Because that second half, which goes for Olympians, Jews, human beings of all type, is once you recognize humbly that you didn't earn standing on that podium, that you didn't really do it all by yourself, that arrogance is a trap. Once you realize that, nevertheless realizing the gift that you have, the opportunity that you have, the blessing that is in your possession, well, then you better get off that podium and actually be worthy of it, and actually use it the way it was intended as a gift. When we recognize that we didn't earn Torah, it no longer becomes a medal to dangle around our neck. It's no longer a trophy to keep in the cabinet. The Torah then becomes a call, a mission, an assignment to duty, that we have a responsibility to be that which God wanted the world to have, to be a light to the nations, to light that torch, to inspire and to guide, so that others around the world would be able to recognize that righteousness, goodness, truth, honesty, dignity, all the values of Torah are indeed the way to live. It's a big responsibility, but when undertaken with humility, undertaken with the pride of what we will accomplish, rather than resting on some imagined laurels of the past, that becomes the most meaningful path for our lives, the most powerful sense of accomplishment, of fulfillment that you can possibly have. It's a lot better than a gold medal, which I don't think anyone in this room is likely to win. It's a lot better than other trophies, but we earn it. We haven't already been worthy of it yet. Shabbat Shalom.